Thank you for tuning in to the weekly NSUSpartans.com football coaches show for the week of November 15th. I'm Matt Mahalik, Sports Information Director at Norfolk State, joined as usual by Spartan head football coach Pete Adrian. And coach, team's on a bit of a roll now, 3 wins in a row after a 31-21 win over Del State on Saturday. Tell us your thoughts of the game.
Well, you know, kids are playing well, both sides of the football, executing both their game plans, playing with enthusiasm, and, you know, good things happen.
He jumped out to a 14-0 lead there. Pretty much had control of the game throughout. Del State got as close as 10 in the second half, but your team was really able to move the ball at will, really, for a second straight week.
Yeah, you know, did very well. I mean, anytime you have your tailback rush for over 200 yards, it really helps you move the football. Chris Wally had a nice game throwing the ball again, and able to stay pretty much on schedule. Converted a lot on third down, which was really good. We were able to provide very good field position for the offense. I think it was like 4 times where they had the ball inside their 50 or right around the 45-yard line, and that's what you got to do. You got to give them short fields.
Now, you mentioned the running game was particularly strong this week. A week ago, the passing game put up the biggest numbers, over 300 yards against Morgan State and 310 yards rushing those Saturday against Delaware State. Did you have a feeling that you might be able to have some success running against Del State?
Well, you know, you go into every game prepared to do both, obviously, and whatever's working, what you're going to do. So that's what we said. We had never gone into the game and said we're going to throw 30 times or run 30 times. But as the game progresses, you see what's there. You got to take advantage of what they're giving you.
And you mentioned the big game by DeAngelo Branche, a career high 212 yards. Got himself within shouting distance anyway of the all-time school record. Will that be something that you think will be a kind of a point of pride for the team if they're able to maybe get him close to that mark or surpass it this week? Well,
you know, we've talked, and DeAngelo and I have talked about that. And of course, our top priority is to try to win the football game. And if he's in position as the game goes on, then obviously we would take a shot at it. But you know, that's a lot of yardage to get against anybody, and he'd have to break some big runs somewhere along the line, probably in the first half or something, to have a shot at that. And we'll just have to see. I mean, it's not a priority for us, but it is a thought for us, you know, and he knows that too, and that's what he said. Let's win the ball game first. I mean, DeAngelo's a total team player. If he gets the record, great. If not, he just wants to try to finish here with a winning season. And of course, he finished his final home game as a Spartan off in terrific fashion. You're up by 10 there, and he had the big 40-yard touchdown run. I guess a nice way for him to kind of leave a lasting impression with the home fans last Saturday. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't, if you're the running back, you can't do it any better than that. You know, sitting there in our Wildcat thing, took the ball, and you know, we're just trying to basically run the clock out and get a first down, and had great blocking up front, made a nice cut outside, and he was gone. All right, now speaking of DeAngelo, we had a chance to catch up with the senior running back from Maury High School in Norfolk and talk to him about his big effort on Saturday, and here's what DeAngelo had to say. Continuing on the NSUSpartans.com football coaches show for the week of November 15th, and I'm joined now by Norfolk State senior running back DeAngelo Branche. Big game last week, DeAngelo, in the victory over Delaware State, 31-21. You guys pulled it out. You had a career high 212 yards. Did you feel like going into the game that y'all would be able to have some success running the football?
I go into every game feeling we could run the ball, but not well like we did Saturday. I didn't even know that it was 112 yards after the game. I never knew I had 30 carries after the game, so it doesn't feel like it until after it's over. Yeah.
Well, I imagine that was probably about as good a performance as you could have hoped for playing in your final home game against Delaware State.
You always like to go out with a bang. I felt I did. The whole offense did.
And speaking of going out with a bang, you had 3 touchdown runs. Your last carry at Dick Price Stadium. Tell us a little bit about that play, the Wildcat formation. You break the 40-yard touchdown run to kind of seal the game. Tell me a little bit about that play.
I just knew it. Look how the defense lined up. That it was open, and the coach called the play on the sideline. I told my fullback Josh Alford, I'm going to the touchdown. He was like, come on. I said, set hut. Got the ball turned to the sideline. Nobody in front of me.
Lots of open space. I know you're always a guy who's very complimentary of your blocking, Josh Alford, and then the offensive line. Those guys have really been opening up some good holes for you too the last couple weeks.
Yeah, they have. They know that I was close to the record. They showed me we want to get it. Not just me. We as a unit. I ain't do it by myself. So.
Now, you mentioned the record. You need 215 yards Saturday. Obviously, it would take a really big game. Just had 212 on Saturday, your first 200-yard game in your career. But even the fact that you're kind of within striking distance of that, how does that feel for you, being a senior now, knowing that your name is going to be somewhere way up there on the charts?
It feels good for me as an individual, but it feels good as a unit too. I mean, Jason Crescent, Andrew Raymer, and Jerome Johnson, and Brandon Nance, all the people, all the linemen that came before me that helped me during in the middle of it, and just not at the end. I know it's a big accomplishment for all of us.
Absolutely. Well, what are you looking for out of this game against Savannah State now? Your MEAC schedule's done. You step out of conference to play Savannah State, a team that I don't guess you've ever gotten the chance to play, because last time we played them was in 2005. What are you looking for out of Savannah State this Saturday?
Actually, I don't know what to expect, because, you know, any team has their day. Any team has a day. I mean, any defense has a day, any offense has a day. We're just going in there looking to have fun and hopefully, I mean, play hard like always.
Of course, the Spartans will be looking for their 4th straight win Saturday too. How much has finishing with a winning record been a goal of yourself and the other Spartans these last 3 or 4 weeks in practice?
We knew it was a goal when our record wasn't that great in mid-season. We knew that it was still, we can be the best women in class since I think it's 85.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it was a goal we set. We were trying to reach it.
All right, well, we certainly wish you good luck and all the Spartans on Saturday as Norfolk State travels to Savannah, Georgia to face Savannah State. That's DeAngelo Branche, the MEAC Offensive Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. And now continuing on with Coach Adrian. Spartan running back DeAngelo Branche, after a 212-yard performance Saturday, Branche was named the MEAC Offensive Player of the Week, and for the 2nd week in a row, Coach, your offensive line got the Offensive Lineman of the Week award. It went to senior Marquise Preston. I know it's an individual award, but I'm sure it's something that the whole unit really takes pride in.
Well, they take pride in it, and, you know, Marquise has been a 4-year starter for us and playing very well, and I think that might be the 2nd time he's won the award. Anytime they can, an offensive lineman can win an individual award, they take a lot of pride in that, because it doesn't happen that often.
Now, looking at some other good performances Saturday against Delaware State, a lot of your seniors stepped up and really had some nice moments in their last home game. Jeremy Wicker with a touchdown reception, and also Jamie Short, cornerback, with an interception there in the 2nd half. Ray Jennings had a big game on the defensive line. So really, I guess it went about as good as it possibly could as far as your 19 seniors on Saturday.
Well, no question about it. And I always preach to them. You always remember the last game you played at home. They wanted to go out and style, and they certainly did. And nice to beat Delaware State 2 years in a row, and that's become a rival game for us over the last few years. And so they played very well. Kids were playing inspired. Of course, we still have one more game to go, and we hope to play inspired football this week at Savannah State.
You mentioned Savannah State. That game 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon down there in Georgia. A chance for your team to end the season with potentially a 4-game winning streak and a winning record. Talk a little bit about how this team has bounced back from the losing streak earlier in the season to put together a really nice run here coming down the stretch.
Well, our kids have played hard all year, and we lose to Rutgers, which is a very good football team, and still in the hunt for the Big East title, and then you lose to Bethune-Cookman, who's still undefeated right now, top 10 in the country, and then same thing with South Carolina State, top 15, and probably going to go to the playoffs and finish 9-2. And then we lose 2 heartbreakers, Hampton by 1 point and FAMU by, I think it was 3 or 4 points. So, it's tough, and the kids realize that, but they also know that they weren't playing that bad of football. They were playing pretty good football, and moving the ball offensively but not scoring. Now we're moving the ball and scoring, which makes a big difference. But these seniors are really determined. They want to become the winningest senior class since 1985, and that's been a big thing they've been talking about for a couple of weeks. It's kind of motivated. I'm sure that's going to be our motivation going into this game against Savannah.
You mentioned Savannah State. They're coming in on some momentum as well. Their first victory of the season, their first home game actually, due to some renovations they're having at their stadium. They didn't play a home game until last week, but they're able to knock off North Carolina Central in a battle of 2 future MEAC schools there. What do you expect from Savannah State? It's a team you haven't played in about 5 years, I guess.
Well, against North Carolina Central, they ran about 12 or 13 trick plays. I've never seen that many trick plays in my entire career, and the thing is, they really executed them well. I mean, they got more reverse throwbacks and halfback passes and double quarterbacks on the field, throwing the ball around. So, and they got 2 or 3 touchdowns out of them, because they fooled the defense. So we're going to have to really be prepared for that and play some basic, good, deep coverage and not suck up on the run game and have them throw the ball over top of us.
All right, Coach, well, we wish you good luck on Saturday. Again, game time is 2 p.m. at Municipal Stadium in Savannah, Georgia. If you can't make it there, be sure to listen to the live audio broadcast on WNSB 91.1. You can also get that stream on NSUSpartans.com as the Spartans go for a winning record Saturday and their season finale at Savannah State. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be speaking with you again soon.